Wah, wah, wah. Subscribe.
What the hell?
That's what insurance is for.
Streaming. It's a good thing, huh? At least it used to be, when big Netflix reigned supreme. Streaming was an easy access to shows we all liked. Then, big business got its hands on streaming, and everyone and their mama started to get a streaming service. That's when it all got kinda sad. With everyone having a streaming service, different companies had different ideas about what streaming could do. Peacock? Cheap. Paramount Plus? Slow. HBO Max? Couldn't stick to a name. Max is an important topic because that's how we get to Justice League, believe it or not. Just a little bit of narration first. I used to love Max because some of my favorite shows were on there. And then they weren't. My favorite shows and movies got ripped out and held away from Max, even though Warner Brothers owns this stuff. What do you mean I can't have cartoons on there? You own Cartoon Network. How are you gonna pull Looney Tunes off of the service when you are literally known for Looney Tunes? I digress. I started to really realize the issues that come with streaming the more that the services started to meddle with the stuff I was there for. So it brought me to acquiring more physical media. Movies, shows, just physical stuff that was mine that they can't take from me. That they can only take from me if the CEO of some movie studio shows up and mugs me. Anywho, one of the things I came across, Justice League versus the Fatal Five. I'd never seen it. A whole animated movie in the style of one of my favorite shows, with one of my favorite casts, and I hadn't seen it. So as a treat to myself, I got myself the Justice League versus the Fatal Five movie. And man, I won't lie, it was cool. It was definitely different from the cartoons I remembered, don't get me wrong, but it was cool. Featuring players like the Legionnaires, the Fatal Five, of course from the title, and Jessica Cruz is a totally different direction than your go-to. Of course you got Batman, Superman, and Wonder Woman still, but with such a different supporting cast of characters and villains, it was a treat to see a different scope of DC adapted. The Legion themselves don't get a lot of play, or at least they didn't up until a certain degree. They had their own cartoon, but I don't know how many of you even remember it. I digress. I loved it. They even tossed in Miss Martian. It's just a treat, focusing on 3 of the Fatal Five members as they attempt to break out the other 2. This whole venture takes them to the past, though Starboy of the Legion of Superheroes goes with them. What comes of all of this is a fantastic film that deals with mental health struggles sandwiched between your typical time travel superhero adventure. I loved it. I thought the writing was very tight, and while there were some clear creative choices that didn't make a lot of sense realistically, they usually made sense in the realm of storytelling, like you gotta do what you gotta do in service of the story. I listened to the creator commentary for this, and the effort that goes into making this movie, and I gather a lot of other movies of this nature, is pretty cool. Their Arkham interior was fully designed before they decided to commit to the Justice League cartoon aesthetic. The planet Oa, home of the Green Lanterns, was a mashup of 2 different animated features Oas, just kind of layered together. Definitely one of the more enjoyable movies for me. It hits the nostalgia, it tells a good story. If you love Justice League and just the Bruce Timm DCAU as a whole, this is where it's at. To talk people that aren't the main superheroes, I really enjoyed the transition of Jessica Cruz from comics to this animated feature. She really is the focal point and does the whole reluctant but not cowardly or anything hero thing. Like she's doing it. She's not running from it, but early on she doesn't really like Wonder Woman's campaign to recruit her to the Justice League. Starboy taking center stage is also pretty solid. The Legion of Superheroes needs some more love. He does a really good job being the morality in this movie. It's just a good time. I thought it was so fun.